April 10, 1912. The RMS Titanic, the largest and most luxurious ship ever built, set sail from Southampton, England, bound for New York City. Dubbed unsinkable by the press and celebrated for her modern engineering, the Titanic carried over 2,200 passengers and crew, each with their own story, dreams, and ambitions. Little did anyone aboard know that within 5 days, this marvel of human engineering would meet one of the most infamous maritime disasters in history. The Titanic was more than a ship. She was a floating palace. Measuring over 882 feet in length and weighing 46,000 tons, she was equipped with 16 watertight compartments, designed to make her virtually unsinkable. First-class passengers enjoyed opulent staterooms, grand staircases, elaborate dining halls, a swimming pool, and even a Turkish bath. Meanwhile, steerage passengers, mostly immigrants seeking a new life in America, traveled in simpler quarters below deck. Yet their excitement and hope for a fresh start were just as palpable. Margaret Brown, first-class passenger, gave an eyewitness account saying, "I walked through the corridors and saw the elegance at every turn. The excitement was contagious. Everyone felt proud to be aboard such a magnificent vessel." The Titanic represented the height of technological advancement, but it also mirrored society's hierarchy. The disparities between first-class luxury and steerage modesty would become tragically significant during the events that followed. April 14, 1912. The Titanic sailed through the icy waters of the North Atlantic. Several ice warnings had been received from nearby vessels, but Captain Edward Smith maintained the ship's speed. Confidence in the Titanic's design and size created a false sense of security among passengers and crew alike. Lawrence Beasley, second-class passenger, gave an eyewitness account saying, "We were warned about icebergs, yet few took it seriously. The night was calm, the sea smooth, and the moon reflected on the waves. It seemed impossible that such a mighty ship could be in danger." At 11:40 p.m., disaster struck. The Titanic struck an iceberg on her starboard side, tearing a 300-foot gash along her hull. Water began to flood the forward compartments. The watertight bulkheads, though advanced for the time, did not extend to the main deck, allowing water to spill from one compartment to the next. Despite crew efforts to contain the flooding, it became clear that the Titanic was doomed. Frederick Fleet, lookout crew, gave an eyewitness account saying, "I saw the iceberg at the last moment. I rang the warning bell and telegraphed the bridge. The ship shuddered violently. I knew then we were in serious trouble." The collision created confusion. Passengers were jolted awake, unsure of the situation. Crew members rushed to alert them, and lifeboats were prepared for deployment. Panic spread as the crew began launching the lifeboats. Unfortunately, there were only 20 lifeboats, enough for just over half of those on board. Women and children first guided the evacuation, but confusion and fear led to partially filled lifeboats being lowered. The icy waters made survival outside the boats nearly impossible. Eva Hart, third-class passenger, age 7, gave an eyewitness account saying, "Mother held my hand as we were guided to a lifeboat. I remember the cries and screams echoing through the decks. People were running everywhere, some desperate, some trying to calm others. It was terrifying." Amid the chaos, acts of heroism emerged. John Jacob Astor IV, one of the wealthiest men aboard, helped his pregnant wife into a lifeboat, sacrificing his own chance at survival. The ship's musicians continued to play to calm passengers, ultimately giving their lives in the process. Edith Russell, first-class passenger, gave an eyewitness account saying, "The music played as if nothing was wrong, yet we all knew the truth. I clutched my child and prayed. It was terrifying, but there were moments of strange calm and heroism around us." At 2:20 a.m. on April 15th, the Titanic split into two pieces and sank beneath the icy Atlantic waves. The temperature of the water was below 28 degrees Fahrenheit, making survival extremely difficult. Over 1,500 people perished that night. Only about 700 survived, rescued by the RMS Carpathia hours later. Lawrence Beasley gave an eyewitness account saying, "I was in the lifeboat, shivering, and watching the ship disappear into the darkness. It was hard to believe that such a massive vessel could vanish so completely." The sinking revealed stark disparities between social classes. First-class passengers were far more likely to survive than those in steerage, a reminder of the inequalities that existed even in times of crisis. The RMS Carpathia arrived to rescue the survivors, who were cold, traumatized, and grieving. Eyewitness accounts reveal the horror and courage witnessed during the night. Stories of selflessness, bravery, and human solidarity emerged alongside tales of panic and despair. Harold Bride, wireless operator, gave an eyewitness account saying, "We sent distress signals continuously, praying someone would respond. When Carpathia arrived, we felt relief, but sorrow for those left behind in the freezing waters remained." Margaret Brown gave another eyewitness account saying, "I survived, but the memories of that night remain vivid. I will never forget those we lost and the lessons we learned from that tragedy." In 1985, the wreck of the Titanic was discovered nearly 12,500 feet beneath the surface of the Atlantic Ocean. Artifacts recovered from the site, fine china, personal letters, shoes, and jewelry, offered an intimate glimpse into the lives of the passengers. The wreck revealed both the grandeur of the ship and the devastation of its final moments. Eyewitness reflection, historian. The discovery of the wreck allowed historians to validate eyewitness accounts, understand how the ship broke apart, and study the human stories preserved in objects and debris. It bridged the gap between myth and historical reality. The Titanic disaster was more than a maritime tragedy. It exposed technological overconfidence, flawed safety regulations, and the vulnerability of humanity to nature's forces. In response, international laws were enacted to improve safety at sea. Ships were required to carry enough lifeboats for all passengers, maintain round-the-clock radio watch, and follow ice patrol routes. These reforms saved countless lives in the decades that followed. Eyewitness account, survivor recollection, general. No words can fully describe the horror of that night. But we remember, and we honor the lives lost, the acts of courage, and the lessons learned. The story of the Titanic is timeless. It reminds us that human ambition has limits, that nature is powerful beyond our control, and that courage and selflessness can shine even in the darkest moments. Eyewitness accounts give voice to the thousands whose lives were lost and preserve the human dimension of this tragedy. The Titanic rests at the bottom of the Atlantic, yet her story continues to educate, warn, and inspire. RMS Titanic, April 1912, remembering the lives lost, honoring courage, and learning from history.